Intro in a world where attraction is often misunderstood, where men are told to chase, impress, and prove their worth. Few ever stop to understand the quiet psychology behind what truly draws a woman in. This isn't about pickup tricks or shallow charm. This is about energy, presence, the kind of silent dominance that doesn't need to speak, because it's already felt. Today, inspired by the deep observations of Slavoj Žižek, we'll uncover the hidden signals women give when they are sexually drawn to you, and how a man of awareness, a man who moves through life with confidence and discipline, can turn that attraction into something deeper, something that makes her obsessed. Most men never notice these signs. They walk through life blind to the language of feminine desire, a language that isn't spoken with words but with glances, tones, and subtle shifts in behavior. But once you see it, once you understand it, you'll never unsee it. So listen carefully, because by the end of this you won't just understand female attraction. You'll understand how female psychology reacts to strength, self-control, and masculine mystery. Let's begin. The eyes tell everything. The first and most primal sign that a woman feels a sexual pull toward you is in her eyes. Not in how long she looks, but how she breaks the look. When a woman is drawn to you, her eyes betray her thoughts. She might look at you, hold your gaze for a moment, and then almost instinctively glance down. That quick downward glance isn't shyness, it's submission. It's the body's ancient way of signaling attraction, of acknowledging your dominance in the moment. Žižek often speaks about the paradox of desire, how it lives in the space between longing and restraint. In that tiny pause, that look, that silence, attraction grows. It's not about lust. It's about tension. Men who don't understand this rush in. They talk too fast. They break the silence. But the man who understands female psychology, lets it breathe. He doesn't chase the glance, he anchors it. He lets her curiosity rise, her heartbeat quicken, her imagination wander. Understand this. A woman's attraction starts in her mind. And the eyes are the first doorway. When she holds eye contact longer than usual, when her pupils subtly dilate, when her gaze keeps returning to you across the room, she's not just looking. She's feeling. She's testing your energy, seeing if you'll crumble or stay composed. The strong man, and the one she craves, holds his ground. He doesn't rush, doesn't flinch, doesn't need to fill the air with words. His stillness becomes magnetic. And in that stillness she feels both safe and excited, a contradiction that fuels obsession. Žižek would say, desire needs mystery. When you remove mystery, you remove the spark. So when her eyes speak, let them. Don't decode them too fast. Let her wonder what kind of man you are, because that's where attraction lives. The voice and vibe shift. The second sign is more subtle. It's not what she says, but how she says it. A woman who's sexually attracted to you unconsciously changes her tone, her rhythm, her entire vibe when she talks to you. You'll notice it. Her voice softens. Her laughter becomes more frequent. Her energy leans into yours. She mirrors your words, your gestures, your posture, not because she's trying to impress you, but because her subconscious is syncing with yours. Slavoj Žižek once described human attraction as a dance between vulnerability and resistance. When she's around you, she's allowing parts of her guard to drop, but not all of it. Her body language will flicker between openness and withdrawal, between leaning in and pulling back. That tension is her way of saying, I feel something here. Most men miss this. They think she's confused or hard to get. But in truth, and this is how deep attraction manifests, it's a test of polarity. When you speak with calm authority, when your voice is grounded, when your tone doesn't seek validation, she feels that. A masculine voice doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. It carries certainty. It's the kind of voice that says, I know who I am. That energy shifts the entire dynamic. You stop being just another guy she's talking to and become an emotional experience. Your presence changes her breathing, her heart rate, her chemistry. She starts to play with her hair without realizing it, or touches her neck when listening to you. Those are not random gestures. They're primal cues of feminine attraction. Zizek might call it the metaphysics of desire. How the human body speaks truths the mind refuses to say. She's not consciously trying to seduce you. She's reacting to the invisible signal your confidence sends. So don't chase validation. Don't try to impress. The more you relax into your frame, the more her feminine energy opens in response. It's biology meeting psychology, dominance meeting desire. And here's the secret. When a woman feels that safe masculine control in your voice and energy, she doesn't just want to talk to you. She wants to be claimed by that energy, not through words but through presence. Because attraction isn't built through effort, it's built through awareness. And when you master that awareness, you'll notice how easily women become drawn to you. Not because you tried to get their attention, but because your energy demanded it. The touch barrier and body orientation. The third sign she's sexually attracted to you is how she positions herself around you. Her body language, her distance, and the subtle ways she breaks the touch barrier. You see, desire rarely begins with words, and it begins with gravity. When a woman is drawn to your masculine energy, her body starts to orient toward you almost involuntarily. Her feet will point in your direction. Her torso will open toward you. Her knees will align with yours. These are ancient cues, hardwired through evolution. Slavoj Žižek once said, "The body reveals the truth that language conceals." That's never more real than in attraction. Even if she's pretending to be composed, her body will betray her emotions long before her words do. Watch closely when you talk. Does she lean in slightly when you speak, as if trying to catch every word? Does she brush your arm when she laughs, or let her hand linger when you hand her something? That's not an accident. That's testing, a subconscious invitation to deeper connection. Here's the secret. Most men destroy the moment by overreacting. They either freeze, too afraid to respond, or they pounce too early, breaking the delicate rhythm of desire. The man of awareness doesn't do that. He meets her energy without forcing it. He lets her body lean in while his stays grounded, steady, calm, controlled. It's that calmness that drives her crazy. Because the woman who's used to men chasing her suddenly meets a man who doesn't need to. He doesn't chase. He attracts. And the more he stays unshaken, the more her feminine side feels the pull. She'll begin finding excuses to get closer. She'll stand a little too near when talking. She'll accidentally bump into you, or fix a piece of lint on your shirt. These are her ways of communicating. I want you to notice me, but I want you to earn it. Zizek might call this the ritual of desire, a dance between offering and withholding, where true attraction builds tension instead of satisfaction. And that tension, my friend, is where obsession begins. Emotional shifts and feminine testing. The fourth sign is her emotional fluctuation around you. A mix of warmth, teasing, confusion, and curiosity. This is not a red flag. This is attraction at work. When a woman feels genuinely drawn to a man, her emotions go into conflict. She feels excitement but also vulnerability. She feels desire but also fear. Because your presence is triggering something deeper than surface-level interest. She'll tease you, playfully challenge you, or give you a bit of attitude. Not because she dislikes you, but because she's trying to measure your strength. She wants to see if your confidence is real, or just a mask. Slavoj Žižek once wrote that love is a form of violence upon the self, a disruption of one's usual order. That's what's happening here. Her attraction to you is disrupting her emotional control. She might get distant, then suddenly warm again. She might act indifferent one moment and jealous the next. This is what many men misinterpret as mixed signals. But the truth is, she's not confused about you. She's testing whether you're confused about yourself. A man who gets needy, defensive, or anxious during these moments fails the test. But a grounded man? He doesn't chase emotional validation. He lets her storm pass while remaining steady, confident, composed, unreactive. That steadiness communicates strength. It tells her subconscious, I can trust this man with my emotions. He doesn't crumble under pressure. And once that message lands, once her nervous system feels that safety wrapped in strength, her attraction deepens. Because now it's not just physical, it's psychological. You've entered her mind. Žižek would call this the fusion of the erotic and the existential. In simpler words, she's not just attracted to how you look. She's addicted to how she feels when she's near you. And that feeling, unpredictable, mysterious, safe yet dangerous, is what keeps her thinking about you long after you're gone. The power of silence and mystery. The fifth sign is something most men overlook completely: how she reacts to your silence. In a world obsessed with constant talking, constant attention, and endless social noise, silence has become the ultimate test of power. And nothing triggers feminine curiosity more than a man who knows how to stay silent with purpose. When a woman is sexually attracted to you, she craves to understand you. She'll ask personal questions. She'll try to draw you out. She'll want to know your story, not because she's nosy, but because your silence creates space for imagination. Žižek once said that desire is not about possessing the object. It's about the mystery that the object withholds. That's exactly how this works. When you don't give everything away, when your life, your energy, your words carry weight, she starts to fantasize. She fills the blanks with her imagination. And that's where obsession is born. Most men kill attraction by oversharing, by dumping every detail about their life, trying to prove they're different. But real difference doesn't need to explain itself. It's felt, not spoken. The man who understands silence uses it like gravity. He listens more than he speaks. He observes more than he reacts. And in that stillness, a woman begins to feel something she rarely feels in today's world: intrigue. She starts wondering what's behind your calm expression. What stories live behind your eyes? What makes you so centered when everyone else is desperate for attention? Her mind starts spinning. Her desire grows stronger, and suddenly, she's the one chasing emotional connection. Your mystery becomes her obsession. And as Žižek would argue, that's the paradox of desire. The less you reveal, the more she desires to know. So never underestimate the power of silence. Your words may impress her, but your mystery will possess her. The feminine surrender to masculine certainty. The sixth sign that a woman is deeply, sexually attracted to you, the one that often goes unnoticed even by the most confident men, is how her energy surrenders around you. Understand this. Attraction is not just about physical chemistry or emotional comfort. It's about energetic polarity, the dance between the masculine and the feminine. When she's drawn to you, her feminine energy begins to yield, not because she's weak, but because she feels safe enough to let go. Žižek often said that true love, or true desire, involves a kind of symbolic death. The ego softens, the mask falls away, and that's what happens here. When a woman feels your masculine certainty, her defenses begin to fade. Her sarcasm turns into softness, her independence shifts into openness, and her usual control transforms into curiosity. You'll see it in her breathing, in the way she looks at you differently. Not as a man she can control, but as a man she can trust. And make no mistake, trust is the root of obsession, because the feminine is always searching for a masculine force that can hold her chaos, not suppress it. Not control it, but hold it with strength and patience. The modern world confuses this truth. It tells men to be agreeable, soft, and endlessly available. But attraction doesn't live in comfort, it lives in tension. The woman who's truly drawn to you doesn't want you to be perfect. She wants you to be anchored. When her energy starts to soften around you, when she becomes more feminine, more playful, more emotional, more real, that's not coincidence. That's polarity. That's the raw magnetism that exists when a woman finally feels your masculine stillness. You'll notice her conversations become more personal. She'll open up about things she doesn't share with others. She'll talk about childhood memories, about pain, about dreams, not to fill silence, but to see if you can handle her depth. Zizek would interpret this as the moment where the real breaks through the performance, where masks fall and desire becomes vulnerable. It's not about seduction anymore. It's about emotional exposure. And when a woman shows you that side, when she reveals her softness, her fears, her hidden thoughts, that's her subconscious saying, "You're the man I can surrender to." This is not weakness. It's the most powerful sign of attraction a woman can display. Because once she reaches that point, she's no longer just interested. She's emotionally invested. And emotional investment is the foundation of obsession. The mirror of desire, how to make her obsessed. Now that you understand the signs, the final piece is knowing how to turn attraction into obsession, without manipulation, without games, without losing your frame. Zizek believed that desire is sustained by lack, by the mystery of something always just beyond reach. That's why women become addicted to men who embody discipline, not because those men play hard to get, but because they are hard to get. A disciplined man is rare. He's not scrolling for validation, not chasing every distraction, not lost in emotional chaos. He's building himself, his purpose, his fitness, his mind, his mission. And women can feel that. They sense that your attention is valuable, that your time has weight, and when they feel that, when they realize they can't easily claim your energy, they crave it even more. So how do you make her obsessed? By staying true to your center, by being unpredictable but consistent in your values, by giving her emotional contrast, moments of warmth balanced with calm detachment. It's not about playing mind games, it's about creating depth. When you're fully present, fully masculine, and yet slightly mysterious, her desire spirals. Because now she's not chasing attention, she's chasing meaning. Zizek would call this the eroticization of absence. In simple terms, when you're not always available, when you live for something bigger than her, she begins to associate your presence with passion and your absence with longing. That's obsession. And it's built not through effort but through essence. So when she texts you, don't rush. When she tests you, don't react. When she flirts, meet her halfway, not with desperation but with presence. You must become the calm in her storm, the silence in her chaos, the man she can't fully read and but can always feel. Because what she truly wants is not your perfection. It's your presence. A presence so grounded, so secure that it becomes her emotional home. And when you embody that and when you become that man, she doesn't just desire you. She surrenders to you. Her attraction becomes attachment. Her curiosity becomes craving. Her interest becomes obsession, the philosophy of attraction. In the end, attraction isn't a trick, a tactic, or a performance. It's an energy exchange between masculine control and feminine surrender, between mystery and emotion, between chaos and calm. As Zizek reminds us, desire is not about the object, and it's about the movement toward it. That's why true attraction can't be forced. It has to be earned through presence. When you become the man who doesn't chase, doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, the world starts chasing you. Because your energy becomes rare, your silence becomes powerful, your masculinity becomes sacred. So remember, you don't have to convince her. You don't have to impress her. You only have to become the man she feels safe and excited to surrender to. A woman's sexual attraction isn't a mystery. It's a mirror. It reflects the energy you bring. So refine your mind, build your discipline, and walk through the world with quiet confidence. Because when you master yourself, then you master attraction. And when you master attraction, you don't just make her desire you. You make her addicted to your presence. That, my friend, is the secret to making her obsessed. Not through words, but through who you are when you say nothing at all.